got some there trying to strike a little bit of a nerve, and some of you are nodding, even smiling or grimacing, because we all share a love for, a commitment to, and also a frustration with, and anxiety about that nation state of the Jewish people over there across the ocean. To a certain extent, what I would like to suggest, because this discussion tonight is not about my book and my hike in the land of Israel and the personal challenges that I faced getting over my divorce, the lessons that I learned on the hike, which form at least part of the story that I tell in my book. We're not here to focus on that, but I want to use that as a framing, because one of the things that I learned in my hike on the Israel National Trail, one of the elements that to me were so very important and uplifting was the reconnection that it provided to me with my people, our people, with my land, our land, with our history, with our shared culture and sense of self and identity, and of course with our nation state. And if we talk about reasserting the legitimacy of Israel, given the hatred and animosity that's expressed so virulently today in a political realm, on college campuses, by some church leaders and others, one of the ways that we can do that is to set aside our baggage and to refocus ourselves on what it is that we do share, what it is that we celebrate when we think about Israel, its establishment and its continued existence. And so to a certain extent, that's why I like to use my hike as a framing, because the hike wasn't political. It wasn't even religious, even though it was a very spiritually uplifting experience. It was, for me, an experience in rekindling my love affair with Israel. And I like to suggest that is what we have to do together, not just tonight, but in the course of any of our activities related to Israel, whether it's our conversations with our spouse or our children or our parents or our grandchildren, or whether it's in our public activity on behalf of Israel, in the media, writing letters to the editor, or speaking on a college campus, or in our day-to-day interactions with colleagues in our professional life or what have you. We have to rekindle that love affair with Israel, because without it, all of the arguments that we have, all the Hasbara advocacy work that we do, and our connection with Israel is diminished and is weakened if we don't remind ourselves continually. I want it, to a certain extent, connected with our Parsha this week. Our Parsha, Lech Lecha mi'artzecha v'yimladcha mibeit avicha. Go forth, God says to Abraham, from your house, from your father's house, from your homeland where you were born, to the land that I will show you. And our Parsha is about connecting ourselves, Abraham, our forefather, who started a family, which became a tribe and a clan, and then a dynasty, and then a nation of which we are all a part. And because we all are a part of that nation, we all are a part of that family. You know, Abba Eamon said that Zionism is nothing more and nothing less than the Jewish people's sense of origin and destination in the land linked internally with its name. And I want to talk for a second about terminology, because we're so used to talking about Israel as the Jewish state that we forget. Let's look at it in Hebrew. Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, have a connection with, were sovereign for thousands of years in, and have never forgotten that connection with, Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. And in modern times, the connection between the people of Israel, Am Yisrael, and the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, has been expressed, has been reinvigorated, has been reasserted. That connection has been reasserted in the establishment of the modern nation state of Israel, Medinat Israel. Why am I focusing on this linguistic connection? Because the forefathers, the founding fathers of Israel, chose the name Israel because it was a natural connection linguistically and culturally and psychologically for them speaking Hebrew, Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, Medinat Yisrael. And we've lost a little bit of that in our rhetoric, in our public discourse, because people don't really connect, even some of our people don't really connect, that the Jewish state is not Jewish in religious identity. It's not even necessarily Jewish in cultural identity or behavior. It's Jewish because we're in the land of Judea. In other words, the Jewish state, the state of Israel, is the state of the people of Israel, no less than the state of Greece is the nation state of the Greek people, or France is to the French people, or Poland to the Polish people. We forget that in our discourse, in our terminology. That's the beginning of a reminder to us of our connection with this land, and reasserting the legitimacy of Israel is to recognize that no, Israel is not a religious construct. The idea of a Jewish state has less to do with the Jewish religion than it does with the Jewish people, which is why I sometimes joke about Jews come from Judea, as I said, like